Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Today we have Star Wars: The Acolyte. This is a brand new Disney Plus Star Wars series that premiered today. And just saying that, yes, it's today that it premiered, and I'm only showing this to you now, but it's actually Monday night for me. I had just come back from seeing it in Hollywood at the El Capitan Theater, the Disney Theater in downtown Hollywood. And they gave us these little posters. And it had screenings all over the country, if not all over the world, that just sort of gave us an early look, just a day or so, gave us an early look at the first two episodes, which is what is also in Disney Plus right now, and gives us a look at a new era in televised or filmed Star Wars saga. It is 100 years before the Skywalker saga, and that is as far as I'm going to get with spoilers. If you're here for spoilers, no, you're not getting it. If you're here to avoid spoilers, yeah, you can safely watch this. But if you're really, really afraid of even the slightest thing about spoilers, well, you might want to avoid this completely if you haven't even watched the trailers. So that's just, some people do that. I know some people who avoid the trailers even, and they know they want to watch it, but, what are you going to do? In this case, I'm gonna be very careful. So this is like I said, set 100 years before the Skywalker saga, and it is in what's called the High Republic era. Those of you who are new to the High Republic era, well, that it is something that has been established over the last few years in the Disney continuity that has been published in books like these novels, and also in Marvel comics like these. So yeah, this is the most recent run of Star Wars: The High Republic comics. They do through Marvel. They have some runs more for kids, like adventures, I think, through Dark Horse and some other publishers. But I'm just saying, if you like what you see in The Acolyte, I'm going to tell you this right up front, right now, before you click away. If you liked what you saw in The Acolyte and you want more stories in that era, sort of the high period with a lot of Jedi Knights and everything is not on the verge of destruction from the secret, the Phantom Menace, well, you can read more. Never be afraid of encouraging yourself or your kids to read more Star Wars comics or books. You could find them. Go to your local comic shop if you want the comics. Just ask them for the High Republic stuff, and they'll tell you. There might even also be, yes, I know there will be. Once The Acolyte is out, there will be some tie-in comics that feature certain characters from the show. I will not say who they are, though, because I can't say the name of one of the characters because it will give away the type of character. You know how it is with Star Wars. You say a certain type of name, and you go, oh, that's a bad guy, that's a good guy, or that's this alien, or that's that droid. So, yeah, I'm just being careful for all of us. What do we get in this? Why does this story exist? What's important about it? Well, it is a story, of course, that focuses on the Jedi, and there is a mystery. It's got lots of action, and there's some humor throughout, which you usually don't relate to the Jedi very much, unless it's Anakin and Obi-Wan, cutting on each other. But yeah, Jedi have sense of humor, some of them. Some of them are just a little bit too uptight, and some of them, but it's not really at the center. The Jedi are not necessarily at the complete center of this, but they are a strong presence throughout. The main character is played by Amandia Stenberg. I hope I pronounced that right. Amandia? I'm sorry, either way. She is, for lack of a better term, the main character. And that's all I can say. It's for me to say anything more about this actress and what she does in this film or this series. we'll spoil it. We'll spoil what's going on. I'll tell you that right now. It's kind of important, being the main character and all. And I'm not even going to go through the whole list of actors like I normally do and say, oh, this is in this. You might know him from that. There's a few I will, only because, hey, you might recognize them and it won't spoil their character. You can tell right here, the one right in the middle, the white-faced one, that's Daphne Keane. You might know her as Laura X-23 from Logan. Yeah, the little Wolverine has grown up and she's now a teenage Padawan. So that's kind of cool. She's in this. And of course, if you've seen the trailers, this shouldn't ruin it too much. She's also very prominently displayed here. Carrie-Anne Moss. Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss, you might recognize her from The Matrix and a ton of other stuff, but mainly The Matrix when you see her in action here in The Acolyte, because one thing I will say clearly, while this is, you got your lightsabers and everything else, there's a little bit more Jedi Kung Fu going on here, a little bit more martial arts than just swinging blades. So that is kind of neat, and it leads to Carrie-Anne's strengths as Trinity from The Matrix. So yeah, I definitely love her inclusion in this, and that's all I can say about her. There are some familiar faces actor-wise, but for the most part, this is very much separated from the main Skywalker saga. There is a chance, and some of you who know Star Wars, and then know the High Republic era, there's a chance that we could run into a familiar face. Not going to say anything else. We do not see that familiar face in the first 2 episodes, I'll tell you that much. They are very much intent on establishing a world that you can appreciate on your own. And it's not difficult. It doesn't make it complex. It's interesting from the start. And of course, when it comes to planets and things like that, they introduce new planets, they introduce new robots, droids, creatures, Jedi, all these things. There's so much new stuff. I can't wait to see all the cosplay that comes from this at all the conventions this summer and next year at Star Wars Celebration Japan. Hoping to see a ton of stuff coming out of this. Daphne Keene's Padawan costume with all the white face paint. Seriously, people are gonna be cosplaying the heck out of her. So yeah. So what we're gonna do is it's a lot of fun. Like I said, there's a lot of action. There's enough humor to keep it from being too serious and dry. Like Andor is one of the best things that came out of this, and it's also not tightly restricted to the Skywalker saga. Yeah, the Skywalker saga is happening in the background of his entire story, but you don't need to know one or the other to appreciate it. And Andor, while it has some humorous bits, was pretty serious, pretty intense, and in its way, it made it one of the best pieces of Star Wars out there. But this is very different. This is very much Jedi. This is very old-time knights who are in power, but also, you got this still, the galaxy is at peace, but at the same time, there's a little bit of turmoil on the horizon, and that's what we're introduced to here in this first 2 episodes of The Acolyte. And yeah, I'm excited to see how it progresses. Over 8 episodes. We're already a quarter of the way through with 2 on the docket here. So yeah, I don't want to, I'm hesitant to say anything else. I should probably just shut up. If you're saying shut up. But yeah, yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, obviously you're going to watch this. It's not even a question. But if you have questions about this, after it airs, I will not respond with anything spoilery until well after it premieres. If you want to comment, that's great. Do so. Or if you want to, just please don't spoil anything for anybody else. That sucks. So, I really appreciate the support in this, and of course, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so it's something that I was going to watch one way or the other. And I was so happy that Disney and Fandango and the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood allowed me. They didn't invite me or anything. I just got lucky and was able to get a pass for it. So free popcorn and everything. So that was great. Had a good time. So yeah, I say definitely check this out. Star Wars fans will not be disappointed. Okay, hold on. I am talking about Star Wars fans, so somebody will find a reason to complain. There's a woman in it. Too many women. What, you don't like women? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's the Acolyte. I think could be the next new favorite thing. And there's one other character that I mentioned earlier that I won't say the name of, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of the most fan favorite characters in the near future for Star Wars fans. We only got to see a little bit of this character in the second episode. By the way, there's no after credits scenes, just so you're aware. But there is always sort of the main story, and then just before the credits, there is a single scene in each of the episodes that sort of establishes something new. So rather than waiting halfway through the credits to see that thing, it's main story, big finish, and then an extra scene. So don't disappear too quickly after you think it's done. There's a pause and a scene that introduces something very new. Both of the episodes, both of those characters that are introduced in those final scenes, I think could be very, very interesting. And to say that it will never be as connected to the future, eventually to the Star Wars saga, well, I would be very wrong to assume that. But for the most part now, you do not have to have ever seen any of the Star Wars Skywalker saga things, any of the trilogies, in order to appreciate this and enjoy it for what it is. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. It's a mystery story, and the Jedi are on the case. So, and you get to see some pretty great other characters along the way, both alien and human and droid. Oh yeah, there's a great new droid, which I am gonna probably end up owning sooner or later at the Disney parks. I'm just saying, it's probably already created. It's already probably been Imagineered at this point. Yeah. All right, so that's all I got to say about this. The episode that I already picked yesterday was number 83, and 83 is Epic Adventures with Bertie Gregory. So that is what we're watching tomorrow. Epic Adventures with Bertie Gregory in the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.